Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Tonight, I'm talking about 28 Years Later, directed by Danny Boyle. A group of survivors of the rage virus live on a small island. One of the group leaves an island on a mission into the mainland, discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors. This movie was made at a budget of $60 million, and at the moment, sorry, I'm just looking it up, it's currently brought in 84.7 million at the box office. So obviously, that's not the full. You get the better figures at the end of the weekend, but so far so good, looking well. I would say that's a success. It's only the opening weekend, so yeah, doing well. There's a lot of movies at the moment. Wish they could make that. When you see the stupid movies on like hundreds of millions and making nothing because people are sick of them. Um, I've always liked this series. I can't say that like super like nerdy fan, but I've always enjoyed these movies when they come out. I don't rewatch them enough. Maybe I should. But one thing I do like about them is that they don't rip the bag out of things. So 28 days later, 28 weeks later, there's a progression. They're not in the rush to pump these out. There's a through storyline, and they've done that with us too. We're getting a logical progression of the story. It doesn't feel like a cash grab. Like, I really enjoyed this, and it's its own thing. With franchises, that it's like pump them out every year, get as many out as possible. The stories get more outlandish and ridiculous, but this has managed to, like the third one, you almost feel like you're in the same universe. There's been more added to the lore, but it hasn't just went, you know, crazy and out there. Especially for zombie sort of apocalypse horrors, which are, a lot more ridiculous. Uh, I like the contained aspect of this. Sorry, Bella. Oh, hey, Chris. Yeah, I was going to go see it on Friday, but it was too freaking hot. I mean, I couldn't even face going outside. Then I was working on Saturday. I came back. I had the streaming with L, so that was already booked. And then I was going to go out for the matinee, but my head has just been busting all day. I think the heat got to me. So I left it later to actually get to see this. And then I can't leave it any later because Mum with Steve, Matt, and other stuff on this week. So busy. So it's either do it now or miss the chance. But yeah, really enjoyed this. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers because, yeah, it's only just out. We'll have this intro scene. We're doing a bit of flashing back and forward in time. One thing I'll say is they handle it really well. Do you know why sometimes they'll mess with the timeline and they'll show you something from the past and the future, and it's really convoluted and gets silly. They don't do that here. So we'll start off. It's funny because I think you see this in the trailer as well. Kids are watching Teletubbies. Like, if you want a horror movie, just put Teletubbies in it. Those things are freaky as hell. So you've got the kids, they're all in this room, and every so another kid gets dumped in. Watch this, don't leave here, and you can sort of guess what's happening. I'm guessing you've never roasted a turkey. I think a tinfoil hat has the opposite effect. Go and roast a turkey, and yeah, tell me how well the tinfoil works. I don't know. It wasn't even sunburn. Like, I'm not sunburned. I think it was dehydration. Just we don't do the heat very well. We get like 6 weeks of absolute hell, and that's our summer. It goes back to normal in August. Just for 6 weeks, we are just broken people. It's the funniest thing. But yeah, I was just really I was suffering today. So anyway, at least got sorted out, got hydrated, got paracetamol in me, and then was able to go and see this anyway. But we meet Jimmy, and this is up in the Highlands, Scotland. So he's one of the kids. He gets out of the situation. His father is a preacher. I think I was in the trailer as well. The father is a preacher, like kneeling, and all the infected come in. So it jumps forward then from that moment, 28 years later, and then we're on the island. And this is where we meet Spike. He's the young lad in this, and he's getting woken up by his dad. Today's the day, and he's getting up. He's all excited, and this is all in the trailer too, so I'm not really spoiling anything. Basically, what it is, the venture out onto the mainland, the scavenging to the hunt to make sure the place is cleared, which is actually sensible if you think about it. It's already sitting on an island, but if you sit complacent and don't patrol your borders, they come. So, yeah, that's a good thing. That's the main rite of passage. We've got almost come back to medieval life now. There's something really clever that they do in this is there's scenes of notching arrows and gearing up and that, and then it's. I thought they were playing a movie, but I don't know. I'd need to go and look at, when this has been out for a week or so, maybe people will tweet on, but it almost looks like they're playing an old movie, like medieval archers, Then so basically what it is, it's almost Britannia going back to the old days, back to the medieval times, and that sort of warrior spirit is coming in, and we see this with the village. So Spike, this is his first time get out, almost like a pilgrimage. The boys are trained, boys are trained or volunteers. There's various trades and stuff to see and pass. People can choose. So these are the young warriors that go out to hunter gatherer, and this is his first time. He's a little bit younger than expected, so he's only 12. It's only 14, 15. It's the first time going out, but his father thinks he's ready. And we'll kind of see all that, but to be honest, that's not the real story. The real story is Isla, Spike's mother. She has a form of dementia. She's sick. Now, the strange thing is, considering the harshness of the environment and the paranoia with the infected, the fact that she is still in the house, and it looks like I said, it looks like she has dementia, but with the rage virus and she's out, she's swearing and stuff, and her personality flips. The fact that she's still alive and hasn't been put to death or shot with arrows or put out is surprising. But then again, this is the difference between being savages and being community. You don't, and it's a strange balance, isn't it? It's one of those survival of the fittest and all that kind of stuff, but you also have to look after your weight, because what's the point? Because you may as well just I don't know, just be individuals running about and run look after ourselves. That's the whole point of community. It's you look after the ones that fall by the wayside. Then yourself, if anything ever happens to you, say somebody gets injured on a raiding party and they can't go out and be a warrior anymore, well, it's up to the community and to provide, you still provide a function, even diminished. I mean, it's all that social aspect that's brought in here, which is cool. That's one thing that I like about this, is the humanity in it. Normally, when you have a zombie apocalypse movie, it's all about everyone's brutal and tough and rah, 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 and got the salty of a sledgehammer, and it's actually refreshing to see another side of things. So I appreciated that, seeing a bit of humanity. The thing I didn't like about the first one was, I think it's a time scale, because it's 28 days later, a month, right? And the squaddies now just falling to bits. I remember they said to get about rapey over women, a month. It's like being a month into a tour for squaddies. So that bit just kind of went, what are you doing? It just didn't make sense. You never really watch that again. That's the problem having the tight schedule we do. I don't have time to squeeze loads of movies in between. But I'll be busy than hanging about. But yeah, they're doing all this. They're intersposing, the call to arms, so to speak. And as Spike and his father are going through, this is where we get Rudyard Kipling's poem Boots. So basically, he's going in the rite of passage. The hunter, father teaching his son the hunter and going off to war because that's what they're doing essentially. They leave the mainland, they leave the island to the mainland. They are doing two folds. They're scavenging. Now they don't need to go hunting for food or anything because at this point they've got farmland. They're raising pigs, animals, growing crops. They've got like a small, almost take what you need when the shop opens, but don't rip the arse out of it. It's a cohesive society and it works, and there's nothing sinister about it. That's the thing. So they put that all out because you know what it is. Every zombie movie is the base gets attacked, and it doesn't go that direction at all. Avoiding spoilers, it's refreshing that it don't go that way because it would have been cliche, it'd been boring. Because even from the trailers, and this we see the alpha, and you think straight away, oh, it's going to be about attacking the island and the breakthrough and blah blah blah. No, that's not the story here. The story is something completely different. So basically, Spike and his dad go out in the first mission. Essentially, they run into. There's different types of, like I said in the thing, there's mutations. So the infected have mutated into various things, and they've done it so well without ripping the arse out of it. Like they could have went. God, what was that Dolby movie with Natalie Portman in it? That one anyway. They could have went that direction, but they didn't. They kept it grounded, but not the rage virus. Aren't just the normal. You got those two. You got other types, and then we've got the alpha, which was mentioned in the trailers as well. So we've got the more intelligent one that's coordinating. So we'll cut it off the first time. Things happen, another bit of the plot opens, and then they return. They manage to get back to the island. It was even interesting at the gate because they were trying to get in the gate, and it's like, wait, while they're freaking out and panicking, right? Because they're checking their eyes and stuff. I thought they might have had a better sanitizing, but basically come back and you go in a cage or something for a day. That would have made more sense, but they didn't do that. Obviously, I don't think they were going to waste time, but we'll have the party because they're all setting up the party, welcome back Spike and stuff, and got the banners and stuff up, which it's all very traditional. That's what we do over here, like the lodge banner and stuff and all that kind of thing. That is kind of British tradition. So they brought that into it, and then you get the storytelling, and every story gets embellished a bit. So fathers, saying, "Oh, my son did this and he did that," and Spike's sitting there going, "I didn't really do all that," But it's how do you inspire the next generation? Sometimes, not every experience is like super book worthy, but still you can't take away from the fact that somebody's trained up, went out and came back alive and encountered the infected and survived. And yeah, he might have shot as many as his father said, but he still didn't step up. But then it's all part of the community spirit. How do you inspire people then to train to do that job if there's no glory? Do you know what I mean? It's a really interesting look on humanity, and for once, it's not nihilism. You're actually seeing the complexities because this is now Spike going from boy to man. It's the oldest rite and passage, isn't it? The passage from boy to man, girl to woman, but in particular, sort of tribal. Back to the ancient tribes, it's the hunter. You leave a boy, you come back a man. That was it. And then you celebrate, and then you start to see the world differently because now he starts to see the world differently as an adult because now he's in the party, he's drinking beer for the first time, all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers here if you haven't guessed, but there's obviously stuff going on that now he was completely oblivious to. He's looking around going, all right, and this inspires the next part of the story. God, where did I go with this? I'm trying to avoid. Uh, there's something they need to do. Spike goes out again, basically, and I should have watched the trailer before. Sorry, I've literally just set this up as I came home. Got tea ready. Spike has to go out again. He realizes something was revealed when he went out for the first time. So this is what it's to do, and it's to do with his mother. So that's what happens. And this is where he's got out on this mission. We then uh, interpose over to another scene where we see a group of Swedish soldiers running and getting run over. So effectively, what happens is the British Isles, Great Britain has been isolated from the world. There's blockade ships, there's patrols, basically nothing gets off the island. That's why they're looking at it. So there's in this case they're Swedish. I thought they were French, but they're Swedish. They're basically every European country, the Americans as well, take turns patrolling the shores, make sure nothing leaves it, which kind of makes sense because you remember the other 20 weeks later, the virus was spreading all over the place. So they actually sorted that all out in the first 5 minutes, which was cool. But we then meet Hans, who's turns out he's Navy. He wasn't a soldier, he's Navy. And their ship hit something and sank, and then they ended up washing ashore, and that's how the thing happened. So he joins over a bit. And yeah, events transpire. And then we'll meet Dr. Kelson, who's another main character in this. I tell you one thing, okay, I'll go with this. Sorry, I'm struggling with this review because, like I said, I'm just fresh back and I'm trying to avoid spoilers because the trailer did a really great job in misdirection. I'll give it that. The trailer doesn't give away anything about the story. You think it's going a certain way when you watch the trailer, and mainly when talk with the alpha and stronger and so forth, but it's not that at all. And I don't want to talk about it, so I don't spoil it for you. I might, obviously, in future reviews, we'll have a chat. I might bring it up once this has been out for a while and people get a chance to see it. But what I'll say is the storyline is not what's portrayed in the trailer, and it's a much better storyline. Just build a gap. It's a more thoughtful storyline and a clever one than just your typical, oh, we've now got Uber infected and then they're going to form a society and they're going to attack. It's not Planet of the Apes. So you're not getting that. That's what I got from the trailer. I thought it was going to be like Planet of the Apes or something. No. Dr. Kelson is also, Ralph Fiennes plays that character, is also not what you expect from what you see him. Because you just thought it was going to be a different path, like I said. And all the teasers, etc. Just, yeah, that's not it. It's a cool story. If you're looking for a zombie action flick where everyone's going rat-a-tat and blowing things up and stuff, no. There is a gory element to it, of course. It's a horror movie, and it's part of the 28 franchise, is that what we call it? The 28 series. But it's all contained and worthwhile. And one thing they do as well is they're showing how in a generation, less than 30 years, how a new generation can come up and be completely oblivious to the time before. So the adults, like people my age, are remembering back to, I remember at pharmacies, or there's a scene where Isla asks Spike for a couple of Neuroprofen, and he doesn't know what that means. there's a bit with this angry, sweet sailor. Oh, you would know that. You would know. So they're very condescending. Funny enough, typical Swedish are a bit like that actually. But he is would know about that. Here's the modern world. So the modern world's carrying on, and basically Great Britain has stood still because it's effectively cut off and it's devolved back into sort of medieval thing. Do you know what? I don't think that would be a terrible thing. It might seem silly. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Nah, I'd probably be making things, or I'd do something useful. Always can't turn my hand to things, but um, yeah, they're getting on with what's important. They're not unhappy for it, and they've made community, and they're dealing with what's happened. But yeah, this is not your typical just zombie movie where there's just blatants and shootings and explosions and all that kind of stuff. Everything's very contained. It's a human story. It's a journey. It's Jimmy's journey at the end of the day. Not Jimmy, sorry. Spike. It's Spike's journey. That he's the main character, and it's his journey into manhood in an extraordinary time, and how he deals with things, and yeah, and then the fallout of his discoveries and what he tries to do. I'm trying to think. Right, there's an end scene, and it's borderline comical, ridiculous, and it answers something, but I don't want to spoil it because it's a major spoiler if we talk about it. But Spike carries on his journey, and he encounters some people, and just showing what how different ways, because it's going to happen. You're going to have different. The island have their sort of tribe. They've got the way they work things out, but not everyone's like that. So you meet other types of tribes and how they're coping with life in this reality that they're in, and it's completely different. And honestly, yeah, this is one of these stories that can go on. It doesn't have to. It's not made like Spike's current story arc gets wrapped up, but there's nothing stopping this going on. I don't think we should pump another one out. This is what would ruin this thing if they try to pump out too many. But it's just letting you know it's a continuous storyline. What I'm interested in is at what point do these infected do they run out? Because it just shows there's so many. So at what point will it come to an end, or will it actually finish, or is that it? Is it just the way nature of the land, and that there's too many hiding places, there's too many people here, like never we're talking 2800 years later, 20th centuries later, 28 millennia year later, till this thing finishes, because everything has a lifespan. That was brought up here. Everything prepare for death. Everything dies. So it's almost as if eventually this will reach a point where it peters out, or does it evolve into something else? So much you can do with the storyline, but needless to say, I really enjoyed it. It was medium paced. I would say this was a medium paced movie. It wasn't slow paced. The action scenes weren't overly done for the sake of it. They fit in well with the universe, and yeah, I was interested. I was interested in Spike's story. I was interested in his growth and the characters around him. And yeah, one or two were really obvious, but we'll not go into that. But they didn't derail from the story. It served their purpose, if that makes sense. And there's a few teasers, like you'll get a scene and then it gets paid off later. So it's good writing. Alex Garden wrote this again, so he's obviously got an invested interest in the series. So it's good that it hasn't derailed or went completely off script. And yeah, I think that's really all I can say about it without getting into spoilers, and I don't want to do that. But let me know in the comments, like, be spoiler free if you have seen this or you get to see it and watch this after the fact, live, what you thought. I enjoyed it. I like movies like this. I like being able to. I don't need flashy lights all the time. I like the human story. I like something a bit more to it, and especially in the zombie sort of genre, this is a refreshing one. I think it's funny because this is the one that started off the whole virus thing, wasn't it? 28 Days Later is the one that rocked the zombie genre, and you got away from the shambling zombies, and this is where they brought the rage virus in, and this is where it just sent shockwaves throughout the movie making industry when it came to zombies, and now it's done the opposite. It's brought it back. So the zombie stuff's got ridiculous now, and just you just switch off, and lost the sort of the fun element and the drama. But this has now brought it back again to. I think the worst was World War Z. Like, that was just the ridiculousness of the zombie genre. Like, that movie came out and you're just like, oh god, really? And the cheaper ones, well, I've discussed a few of them, just make you go, can't be bothered. And things like The Walking Dead, I'm not a massive fan because it became a soap opera. And that's a problem with these. It can become a soap opera because there's only so much of the zombies, zombie hordes you can do. And you need to tell a good human story. Romero obviously did it best. The Dead series, the moments in between that were impactful and meant something. This is the same, and it's sort of brought back that. So, yeah, I was looking forward to this. Glad it came out, and I wasn't disappointed. So that's the main thing. And the trailer, that's the only sort of spoiler, is the trailer's misdirecting you. It's not going that way at all. So don't expect that. But there you go. Anyway, I'll knock in the head there because I'm just going around in circles and I'm babbling. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I just need to say, until next time, update the channel, do technical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.